It's Piccadilly, it's Fortnum Mason, and it's late September 2024. It can only mean one thing, and here's someone to tell you a little bit more about it. So, we've already covered Harrods this year, we've covered Liberty's for their Christmas decorations for 2024, but now we're at Fortnum Mason, and we're going to have a look and see what they've got to offer this year. So come and join us, let's go inside and have a look. Yes folks, that beautiful bald person is right. We're going to go inside, up to the first floor, and just in case you don't believe me, here we go, here's a store guide, and up on the first floor, it's Christmas shop time, yeah! Yeah, I know, sorry, I do get excited about Christmas, but I know a number of you have been waiting for Fortnum Mason as well. So, let's go up the stairs together and into the Christmas shop. And there's a big tree just standing in the way, giving you a hint to what's to come. By the way, anyone lost an orange or a piece of fruit seems to be on this tree. So in the centre of Fortnum Mason, in the sort of the stairwell part that goes up and down so you can see, you've got this girl who's gently waving to you. Now if you came to Fortnum Mason last year, or you saw our video when we came back and we did the outside decorations, you'll remember the Christmas puddings that went up and down here. So we wait and see what they've got this year. And packed full of Christmas, it's Fortnum Mason, and they're reusable bags, which actually look really good. Right, so let's start with some of the food stuff that we have here on the first floor. One thing you'll notice this year about the Christmas department here at Fortnum Mason is it's well padded out with their foodstuffs. Yes, they're Christmas foodstuffs. If you fancy a panettone or any of these bits and pieces, then you can come and get them, and this just gives you a little bit of an idea of the prices if you fancy them from here. So, if food and drink is your thing and you fancy getting a Christmas pudding this year, there you go, your magnificent plum £2 Christmas pudding will cost you £60. And how about that vintage port? Yes, we'll tell you the price of that in just 1 second. Go on, have a guess. There we go, we'll just keep you anticipating. There you go, you've got various preserves as well. Right, let's give you the price of that port. Are you ready? It's £48.50, yes, nearly £50 for this vintage port. At that price you want it to last forever and taste absolutely flipping amazing. So it's time to start with the classic Fortnum Mason decorations. Yes, you've got the tea caddies, you've got the tea sets with the trays with the scones on, which I love every single year. Plus you've got the hampers. We'll also show you the hot air balloons as well. So you've got all of these bits and pieces. Now these stay in stock for quite some time. They're priced anywhere from about £20 to about £35, depending on which type you've got. There you go, you've got teapots there as well. You've got the Fortnum Mason shopping bag, and this is my favourite one. This is the hot air balloon. I just love the hot air balloon. If I remember rightly, I think that's £26.95. So it just gives you an idea of the prices. The only problem with the tea sets is that you need a really, really strong Christmas tree branch on which to put it on. Right, let's have a look at some of the advent calendars. And if you're thinking, I fancy a chocolate one, that gives you an idea of how much chocolate is in the chocolate advent calendar. Do you reckon someone last year phoned up the customer services complaint line because they didn't get enough? Anyway, they've done the same with the tea sets. If you fancy the tea advent calendar, and that's a different tea every day, there you go, you get a view of what's inside of that as well, which looks rather lovely if you like your different types of teas. And then you've got a smaller one here as well. Advent calendars is something they do really well here at Fortnum Mason. You've got all different types. So that one, the smaller one, is about £35, whereas the really big one, which we showed you with the different individual tea caddies, is £130. Right, let's go on to the classic Fortnum Mason one here. But we'll come back to that one a little bit later. But if you love dogs, then this could be for you. It's the dog advent calendar. So the choice is yours, £120, and you can put something in there as a little treat for you or for someone else, or for that little furry friend in your life. Right, here we go. We've got the Christmas tree advent calendar here, which is rather lovely as well. And then here, if you're into nutcrackers, and I know so many of you are, then we've got this one here as well. And we'll be bringing you the nutcrackers a little bit later. But anyway, for £120, if you love nutcrackers, I'd get on it quite quick. Certainly something I noticed this year is a lot of the space is filled up with sort of Christmas food, Christmas biscuit tins, teas, coffees and various alcoholic drinks as well. And that fills up a main section of the area. So I wasn't as impressed as I have been in previous years with the volume of Christmas decorations. But anyway, after the food area there, let's go back to it. So if you fancy your own hamper, there you go, you've got a selection of hampers there. And let's start having a look at the things you can hang from the trees, starting with these very delicate baubles. Hidden round the corner, out of the way, probably for a reason. Yep, someone's going to fall into them and break them. Now, one thing that came out loud and clear when we did our Liberty Christmas decorations is how much people love the peacocks. So there you go, you've got some peacock-themed Christmas decorations here. So I think they definitely must be on trend this year. If you love your Christmas tree with bows and various bits of fruit on it, smelling rather lovely, then that could be the tree for you. And over here, you've got various different smelly things, sort of potpourri and various bits all set up. There you go, more dried fruit. So you've got a right selection here, along with some mushrooms or toadstools. So that tree stuffed with fruit, here's the fruit that you can buy, the fruit and veg which you can then throw onto your tree if that's what you fancy. And here we go, a wide cross selection with more mushrooms and toadstools around as well, all carved in wood. Now, despite the fact I've said this in previous videos on our Christmas decorations, if you think we're going too fast, well, the video will be twice as long if I went half the speed. So do hit that pause button if you see something that you fancy a good look at. That's what that pause button on YouTube is there for. So as we look upon the woodland theme that we've got here, we go to something a little bit more individualistic. And here you can buy individual sort of candle decorations which you can put on your tree branches. So not only have you got those, but you've also got a selection of candles as well, which is something I haven't seen over previous years, certainly in the last 3 or 4 years that we've been covering the Christmas decorations in all of the major stores here in London. And how about these? These Fortnum Mason sort of baubles of their own design. Yes, and as you know, what Christmas collection would be complete without the snow globes? And as you can see, I've been at them before. Now, something I think is a really good idea, which they have here, are these jigsaw puzzles, all of 1,000 pieces each, with lots of sky and lots of snow. To give one to each of your family members, go for a cheap version of that, and that'll keep everyone happy and quiet during Christmas Day. But at least it saves getting the Monopoly out and having massive arguments as a result. Is it me, or do you think I'm giving far too much away about how we spend our Christmas here in this house? So I noticed them on some of the earlier shelves that we saw. It's candles, and there we go, got a cross section of candles here, from floral arrangements to owls and Father Christmas with a wick standing out of his head. The question is, if you're going to set fire to Father Christmas, surely you don't want to do it from his head first. Yeah, doesn't seem right, does it? I thought these candelabras were reasonably priced at £12, and the birds in the cage come in at £35, with the sort of droplets hanging down from them. At least I hope that's droplets hanging down from them. Anyway, if you fancy your own letters, you've got them here in the Fortnum Mason, beautiful colours as well, but do get in early before they all disappear. They're sort of hidden around the corner. And how about this as a sort of a carousel as well? So if you remember our video of Fortnum Mason last year, you'll remember this. It's the whacking great advent calendar that met you as soon as you walked in, where the tree is this year. And inside the advent calendar, which, as I said a little bit earlier, it's certainly a touch of Fortnum Mason. You come to expect all their different types of advent calendars. You've got various foodstuffs in here, and also teas as well. Certainly something that's very beautifully decorated, and I just love the way that the doors open to reveal those bits and pieces inside. And do you remember those villages that you get in the Christmas decorations? They've got their own. And also another way you can get your letters, if you didn't want them in that sort of plush that we showed you earlier, you can get them in China with your own letters on there to hang on there, but a slightly heavier option for your Christmas tree. So I certainly like the way that Fortnum Mason have sort of grouped their decorations together. And here you've got a mix of sort of silvers and reds. But then you come over to this collection, which is called Nostalgia. And they're now starting to put the collections together, some of which you can see on the trees, but also it's all under the same sort of set. So if you're coming here and you like that sort of nostalgia feel, then these are definitely the decorations for you. And you're going to see some other sets of decorations and their different themed names as we go through the video. So here we go into Glitterville, and this just gives you an idea of the different types of things here, and also there you go, some of the prices as well. But for the normal sorts of decorations, they're not as expensive as the ones there. There you go, you've got presents there, you've got sweets, you've got little parcels there, all different sorts of shades of bauble. So you've got the whole wide cross selection within this theme as well. Oh, by the way, that's an ice cream. Oh, and how about cake at the back there? So what do you think of the decorations so far? Do let us know in the comments down below. And how do you think they compare with last year? Well, to help you with that, up in the top right hand corner, I've actually put a link to the video of last year's Christmas decorations here at Fortnum Mason. And I'm not sure if it's me, but this year I did feel a little bit disappointed. And the reason for that is the space that they've given to the Christmas decorations this year seems to be a lot smaller, and they seem to have packed it much more with the sort of the sweets, the biscuits, and also the Christmas drink and puddings, etc. So it seems to be a lot less in the way of Christmas decorations. Anyway, do let me know what you think down below. It'd be really interesting to see. Now, I did actually speak to a member of staff about it. They weren't quite sure. They said they had more stock to come out, and they thought it might be expanding into other areas, but I'm not quite convinced. But what we will do is we will come back before the end of the year, and we'll come and have a look again. Anyway, I want to come down here and catch their windows, because the Fortnum Mason windows are always fantastic. Now, these did catch my eye, and a number of times different people ask if we can cover the Christmas cards and the wrapping paper as well, but I certainly wanted to capture these cards, or certainly these scenes that you can build, all from paper, which is really quite impressive. And I like these bottle ones as well, with the different Christmas scenes in it. Do you fancy some of these cards? Well, maybe you do. Let us know in the comments down below. Also, need to tell you, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, you're going to miss out if you're not careful, because we'll notify you first when we upload new videos. And of course, Christmas in London we love to cover when all the decorations start coming on, well, early to mid-November. So if you want to make sure you don't miss that, do hit that subscribe button purely for that. And how about this fantastic 3D train? Beautiful. Right, here we have some soft toys, which are all on hooks, so I'm guessing they're there for display, and that one is at £42. But you see that large one there? How much do you think that is? Go on, have a guess. Right, here comes the price tag. There you go, the Enchanted Fox Dreamer at £1,300. Which makes me think, if money was no object, what Christmas decorations would you buy from here, Fortnum Mason? Would you order online and go grab? So if you're having a looking at this and think, oh, do you know what? I want to buy that one, and that one, and actually you want to do that and get that ordered and over to you, now is the perfect time to do it. With just under 3 months to go, go to fortnummason.com and you can order it and have it delivered to your own home. So with these beautiful shiny decorations for the tree, we go from tree decorations for decorations for the table. And depending on when you open yours, do you open them at the end of the meal or at the start of the meal? Let us know in the comments down below. But let's go for some very posh Christmas crackers. And if you fancy champagne truffles, these could be your crackers. And whilst the previous ones are £130, if you fancy something with a bit of a golden touch, yes, £575. Yeah, and you probably need your gold-plated credit card to go with that as well. Alternatively, you can go for these, a bit more reasonable at £55. By the way, when I talk about reasonable for £55, we're talking Fortnum Mason reasonable. Then we go from reasonables right to the top end. So if you fancy your own hamper made with these crackers inside, they'll set you back a mere £1,000, and just look at what's inside. 4 napkin rings. It's what I've always wanted. To be quite honest, we can all dream of having crackers like this, but would you want the stuff that they've got inside? And this is the lovely thing I like about it here, is you can see what they've actually got for the inside presents as well. So none of that arguing on the, I'm going to have that puzzle, which no one can actually work, to, do you really want that? Yeah, no, you can keep it. Don't worry about it. No arguments around the family table this Christmas. Right, now we go on to nutcrackers. Sorry, enough of giving away of what happens in the London visited household. Right, nutcrackers, fancy that? Here they are. Now, whilst there's not hundreds of them, you've got them in various sizes and prices as well. From these ones that you can hang on your tree, to these sort of flat felt ones that you've got there, to these rather more delicate ones. So yeah, you've got a whole wide cross selection here, and for 20 quid, there you go. You can hang that on your tree. It's certainly something I've noticed this year, not as many nutcrackers around. But have no fear, because we went to Selfridges the same day and filmed as well, and that video will follow shortly. So if you haven't followed us or you haven't subscribed yet to our channel, you need to make sure you do, because if you subscribe, you'll see our Selfridges video coming very, very soon. Now, I'm not sure if it's me or if it's one of those, I remember when I was younger and it was a lot bigger, but the Christmas department here at Fortnum Mason seems to have shrunk this year, and whilst it's got decorations galore, I don't think it had as many as it had in previous years. Now, one of the tables that's sort of hidden away, which I discovered by chance, was this one with all the different types of plush decorations. Yes, you know, the light ones that you can hang on your Christmas branches without fear of them falling off, but they're rather nice ones as well. And there you go, you've got your Fortnum Mason teacup as well. So here we've got some galloping reindeer. I must admit I did have to look twice because it's sort of filled in between the hoops. I wasn't quite sure what it was. I thought it was in a pool of water. But then we come to these very, very delicate Christmas decorations, which are very expensive and up on a high shelf, probably for the reason of not being knocked over. But they're very delicate with it. Then you go from those very, very delicate baubles to very, very delicate ones in boxed sets. And whilst they have a little bit of a selection here, without doubt my favourite has got to be this, the Christmas tree. We've got to hang that carefully to make it look like it's a full train. So what did you think of the Fortnum Mason 2024 Christmas department? Do let us know in the comments down below. It'd be really interesting. And also, if you've seen our previous videos on both Harrods and also on Liberty as well, how does this compare? Be interesting to get your views. I've certainly got my own, and I know I shared a couple of those with you during the course of the video. Anyway, speaking of Liberty, which is one of my favourites, talk about giving the game away, I've put a link to that up in the top right hand corner. So if you've not seen the Christmas decorations from Liberty this year, if you click on the video in the top right hand corner, I'll see you in there. Thanks for watching.